Warning, we are not trained professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. Lucy Deakins is our queen, lord, and savior. Side effects may include loving Lucy Deakins, not to be confused with I Love Lucy, going down many rabbit holes, not to be confused with Alice in Wonderland, which is an excellent Disney film if you haven't seen it, and appreciating cinema as used as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other form of enhancements that you may find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly, just like Bud Light, which is actually pretty gross if you've ever tried it. I'm not a beer fellow per se, but Maddie loves beer and she's an outstanding individual, so trust her judgment, but don't discredit mine. Bud Light's gross. Additional disclaimer. If the film says f***, we can say it too. So check the film rating and that will be our podcast rating. Welcome to another episode of Film Therapy. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
This is episode 3, the final chapter of the trilogy. Which doesn't mean we won't do more, but it's the final chapter of the trilogy, which is funny because one of the movies we're talking about today is also called The Final Chapter, but it's nowhere near the final chapter.
Not even close.
It's funny how it's like, how even now, like, if you go to buy the DVD, it still says The Final Chapter.
I know.
So, like, someone who's not in the know will be like, wait, what's this? Like, where's part 4? Yeah, so if you missed last week's, which you should go back and listen if you haven't, because it's great, we talked about Friday the 13th parts 1 through 3. And this week we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th parts 4 through 6. Now we're at the halfway point.
Oh my gosh.
After this episode. Because there's 6 more movies, yay!
Only halfway done. Did you watch anything noteworthy this week? Besides Friday the 13th, part 4 through 6?
Well, let's see. I think I actually did watch a couple new things. I have to rewind, though. I showed a friend The Boy Who Could Fly in the Great Outdoors, so that was fun.
Yeah.
We watched them on VHS.
Spreading the good word.
Yeah, hang on. Let me go to my letterbox and see if I don't make a diary of things I've watched, but I feel like I've... What
I really need to start
I
doing
watch?
that.
Yeah, I mean, you have the account. Just Goya Asthma, man. Goya Asthma. For those who don't know, that's an acronym for get off your ass and start moving around.
I need to. Can you tell me that every day?
Yeah, but I need you to tell me it too because I absolutely need to do that. I feel like.
Very good.
Shoot. Okay, so what did I watch this week? Well, I hadn't seen it. I watched a movie called Youngblood with Rob Lowe. It's like a hockey movie.
Mm.
It also stars Patrick the Swayze, and he's pretty cool in it, because he's cool in everything.
Yeah.
But so I watched that, and that was actually really good. It's got like really bad reviews, and then I'm like, this is why I never go online for reviews because I just take my opinion and that's it.
Yeah, if you like it, nothing else matters.
Yeah. I think I watched one other movie though, like a new one, and I can't think of what it was. I don't know. If I think of it, I'll say it.
Okay.
But yeah. What did you watch?
I watched a lot of things.
I'm ready.
Most recently, last night, I watched Palm Springs with Andy Samberg and the mom from How I Met Your Mother. I forget her name.
Wait, the mother that it's like the mother of the title?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
And they were both really good in it, and it was a very interesting film. I recommend it. It's on Hulu, and it starts off kind of like cliche. I've seen this before, but then it kind of goes crazy, and then I really like where it ends up. So it was exciting. But the day before that, I watched Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. And that was entertaining. I had no idea it existed, but I saw it online and clicked play.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny and entertaining too. There was a little action, a little romance, lots of comedy. It was a fun watch for sure. I recommend that one too. Then, before that, I watched The Road featuring Viggo Mortensen and also Charlize Theron again. That one was very cliche. I think it came out
2006, I think.
Maybe. Have you seen it?
No, but I've heard it's really sad. So.
2009. Okay.
Oh, I was close. Wait, when did the book come out? Because it's based on a book.
The
book was 2006. So I was.
Oh my gosh. You know so many things.
I just took a wild guess.
Wow, that's crazy. It was. It wasn't too sad. I was kind of disconnecting myself from it because we did read a review that said it was sad, so I was like, I'm not going to buy into the sadness, so I'm just going to kind of sit
Yeah.
here and make some food while I'm watching and like not really get that sucked into it. And it was good enough, but like definitely you've seen it before. Apocalyptic film with a dad and his son, struggling, bandits, murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was alright. It is alright.
Sounds like After Earth. Have you heard of that movie?
I have, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I've heard not very good things about it.
I also watched Guns Akimbo last week.
Is that new? Didn't that just come out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's with Daniel Radcliffe.
How was it?
It was really good. Yeah, you've probably seen the meme where he's like walking around with guns and slippers and a robe, like big old tiger slippers. He's like that went around the internet for a while. That's from this movie, and it was really good. It was really entertaining. It was kind of like Scott Pilgrim-y and really high action and like weird camera moves, but it was also really funny too. And Daniel Radcliffe evolves in it. He does a really good job. His voice sounds completely different. Like even though he does have an American accent, but like he even sounds different than his other movies with an American accent, like
Huh.
Swiss Army Man or What If.
Oh, I love
Like,
What If.
yeah, that's such a good one.
I haven't seen that in so long.
I just rewatched it recently.
Did you like it? Watching it again?
I loved it. Yes.
Yeah. The one
It's
scene,
so cute.
the one scene I remember from that, I remember like a few scenes, but I remember the one scene the most is like when they're at the beach and then like Adam Driver and the other friend like they like take their clothes away
Yeah.
because they're trying to get them to like get together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the scene when they're sitting down and like having coffee. Like that's the other scene I remember. Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver.
Oh, mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen it in like I think I saw it around the time it came out, like 2015 or 16. So I haven't seen it in a long, long time. But I remember really, really liking it.
Mm-hmm. I think Judy told me about it and we watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
Judy's our friend.
Yeah, Judy's our friend. She loves Northern Exposure like I do, and agrees that '90s is the best decade of TV. I think she agreed with me on that. Most I should confirm that before I just start saying it.
Judy's also an communist.
Wait, what?
We're gonna be spreading lies about Judy.
Well, okay. If Davis is the extreme, what does that make Judy?
Well, if Judy was a character in Twister, she would be Aunt Meg.
Oh yeah, she'd absolutely be Aunt Meg because Aunt Meg is a gem.
Yes.
I wonder who I would be if I was a character in Twister. I'll be the guy that Cameron plays. You know Cameron from Ferris Bueller. I'll be him.
Yeah.
Okay, now, who would be Jonas? Jonas is the bad guy that's
Son
played
of
by
a bitch.
Wesley. Yeah, that him.
Jonas. Son of a
Jonas.
bitch.
Jonas
Son
sees.
of a bitch.
You can't explain it. You can't predict it.
Oh, you can't explain it. You can't predict it.
He went and got himself some corporate sponsors. He's in it for the money, not the science. He's a night crawler. Isn't that a movie too? Because
that's a movie. I haven't seen that one. I don't think.
I have neither. But what I think of is Nightcrawler from X-Men 2. He's like the one with the tail that can teleport.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played by Floop from Spy Kids.
Oh my gosh, really?
Did you know that? That's the same
No,
actor?
I mean, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but if I saw it now, I'd probably figure it out. But at the time I watched it, I probably had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea as a kid. Then when I got older, I'm like, oh shit. Anyway, we were talking about Friday the 13th, the greatest movie series of all time.
It's literally amazing.
Every movie just gets better.
It honestly it does.
So currently, my least favorite was part 2. But then I keep thinking about like the final act of that movie and how freaking awesome it is. Yes. And like that's like the one I think about the most. It's just like part 2 in general, but specifically the ending and just how like how it felt so awesome to watch and just how it had that weird, ambiguous, what the fuck kind of ending, and
It did.
Yeah, I really dug that. It's funny that for film therapy, we didn't even intend to do Friday the 13th. It just kind of happened,
Yeah.
and now we're doing therapy about slasher movies. And it's also ironic because I'm not a horror movie person, but I love like 80s horror movies because they're just the best.
Yeah.
Because they still can be creepy, but they're not like, oh, we're gonna use loud noises to scare. God, there's so many generalizations that I could make, but I'm just gonna say that I just like 80s horror films, but that's like it. Like
They are very different.
90s too, probably, but then like 2010 and onward, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah. They're definitely very different, and especially these because they can be so comical.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just slasher movies. I just feel like actually the first time I was actually scared, like a little bit scared watching this was part 6. So I think
Me
they are
too.
getting scarier. I was
Me
like
too.
kind of like white knuckling. I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And I was like, oh, what am I doing? This is Friday the 13th. It's fine. They're all just gonna die. It doesn't matter. But I was actually like freaking out a little.
Yeah, part 6 had a moment. I think I wrote it down. I'll have to check. But part 6 had a moment where I was like legitimately like, oh, I'm actually like kind of creeped out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm feeling really intense.
So shall we recap part 4?
Yeah.
All right. So it starts the day after Friday the 13th, part 3,
Mm-hmm.
where the police and the paramedics are cleaning up the destruction that Jason Voorhees caused. And
In 3D.
In 3D. And so they bring Jason's corpse because he is, quote, dead, unquote. And they bring him to the morgue. These two disgusting, like, the coroner is very creepy.
Yeah.
He wants to get with this nurse lady. And she gives in eventually, like, ew. Oh yeah, also just having sex in a morgue with a dead body right behind you is not cool.
I wrote that down too. I wrote down, who does that?
And
No.
yeah, that's
no.
sick. So the skis ball Rex, no. Tex, no. What's his name? Axel.
Well, you were somewhat close.
His name is Axel. So Axel the coroner is watching this aerobics video, and do you know the fun fact about that?
It's a real aerobics video.
I don't know if it's actually real. I don't think it's actually real, but
No, it's actually real.
Oh, it's actually real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then the girl in there plays the part of Nikki in part 6.
The girl in the workout video?
Uh-huh. And she comes back and she's the girl who Court has sex with in the van or the RV.
I don't remember sex in the RV, but I remember the driver getting killed.
So the RV was parked like they were like, "Where's Court?" And
oh yeah. Now I remember.
Then they cut to that, and they're like, "There's just those two guys in there, like the guy and the girl," and then Jason, of course, comes and he unplugs the RV and then kills them both.
Spectacular crash.
So yeah, oh gosh, yeah, that was crazy. I also read that they kept the actor in there while they did the crash.
Why?
I don't know.
Authenticity.
It's so weird. I was like, why would they do that? And that was the last scene, or the last shot that they were doing for the whole film. And they were obviously worried about it. So that's why they did it last. And I'm like, why? Why? Who allowed that? That should be illegal.
It would be now, for sure.
Absolutely. Also, like, killing a real live snake, like in part 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jason wakes up from his dead state, kills the coroner and the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So he's like, all right, gotta go back to Camp Crystal Lake. And of course, then we've got a group of people going to a house that they rented on Crystal Lake, and happens to be right next door to a family of a mother, a daughter, Trish, and a son, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
The group of kids meet some hot-looking twins, and they invite them over, and they're all coupling up, of course. They invite Trish over there. Trish's car breaks down. She meets a hitchhiker named Rob, who's very suave. Rob the Suave. Yes. And he soon becomes friends with Trish and Tommy, her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Fixes their car, and then she's like, oh yeah, you should come over and just see where we live so that in case you get lost or want to come back, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Foreshadowing. So then at the party next door, we've got all these kids who obviously soon get picked off one by Jason.
Mm-hmm.
There's also this douchebag in this movie, Ted.
What is it with characters naming Ted named Ted that just are unlikable?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like him. Oh, there's also a cute golden retriever named Gordon. And he jumps out of a 2-story window and lives.
Superpowers.
Crazy. Like Airbud to the max.
Oh yeah. Also, we forgot to say this, but we're gonna spoil all three movies. So parts 1 to 6 can all be spoiled. Just saying.
Spoiler alert. And they're all rated R, so we're allowed to say the F word.
Sure.
And any other word we want.
Any other word.
Oh yeah, there's this scene where the twins, they come to the party and they shotgun a beer, and it's like so horrible. They're just like pouring it on themselves. I don't know if you've ever tried to shotgun a beer, but that is not how you do it.
Well, you'll have to teach me the wise ways of doing it.
Yes.
All right, senpai.
I will, young grasshopper. So let's see, are there any cool deaths?
Well,
There was...
Oh, I didn't have any deaths. I was just gonna go through the weird little moments I wrote down. In the very, very beginning, they say, some have seen Jason. And then they show one of the kills from part 1 when it's his mom, and it's like, great editing choice there. It was, I think it was like Steve from the first one. Like when he's like, hey, who are you? And then he gets stabbed. And it's like, gosh. Jason didn't do that, bruh.
That's so dumb. Why would they do that?
Also, we see Chris from part 3 for like 3 seconds. She's in the background in the hospital. The title is called The Final Chapter, which is that's like Too Fast, Too Furious levels of awesomeness.
Yeah.
The coroner guy, the really creepy one.
Axel.
Axel, him. He had a line where they're in front of a dead body watching TV, and it doesn't, that's whatever. And then like Jason's hand falls off the bed and like hits him, and then he jumps up and he's like, "Holy Jesus, goddamn, jumping Christmas shit!" And I'm like, "What is jumping Christmas shit?"
Jumping Christmas shit.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
That's very good.
And then once they're dead, we just cut to the new characters out in the woods, like we've seen them before. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then there's the Crispin Glover dance.
Oh.
which was very, very awesome. The original song they were dancing to was Back in Black.
Oh yeah, I read that.
So that's awesome. And then when you mentioned the suave hitchhiker, I wrote, sure, just bring a hitchhiker up to your bedroom. Of course.
Yeah, Tommy's like, come up to my room. I gotta show you all my cool toys. It's like, all right.
I don't know which kill it was, but I wrote down the tracking shot and the shadow kill was really effective. So, like, I think it's when one of the twin girls gets on the bike and, like, you're following Jason, and then you just see, like, the shadow of him, like, hitting her over the head or something. I thought that was really effective.
I like that, too.
You never see the mom die, though. She just disappears.
Yeah. No, that was one of my questions. I was like, is she actually dead? Because at one point they go outside and they scream, but, like, they could be seeing anyone, really.
Yeah.
I didn't know who they were looking at, and so... But then they mentioned later on in, like, the 6th one that his mom died. Where is Trish in parts 5 and 6?
I don't know.
Where is Trish?
Who knows?
She needs to be there.
Wait, does the hitchhiker live or die?
He dies.
Oh, because I was going to say she's off, like, married to him, but I'm like, well, he's dead, so that throws my theory out the window.
He did. He was, like, looking to be the hero, but then Tommy comes out and is like...
He's the hero this time.
He's the hero.
I definitely want to talk about Tommy for sure, because this is the Tommy trilogy.
Yes, absolutely. Tommy plays a huge role.
But there was one moment, I think, when Trish and Tommy's mom is in the house by herself, and Tommy and Trish are, like, in the car, then they leave the house. I'm like, where did they go? Because then they come back and they're like, Mom. Because Tommy has, like, a lollipop or something, and I'm like, did they go to the candy store or something?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think they mentioned that, like, earlier in the movie, but I don't remember. I felt really disappointed when Jimmy died. Crispin Glover's character.
Me too.
Although a great final line is, "Hey Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?" And then and then that's what kills him.
Yeah, poor guy.
But yeah, I was really upset when he died because I'm like, I wanted him to live. Like, he was awesome.
I at least wanted him to live longer than Ted.
Yeah,
I was so
yeah.
sad.
Like, I mean, like, he finally got the girl. He was like in a good place, man. And
Yeah.
then he looked for that corkscrew, and then um when the guy, I don't know which one it was, but when the guy died in the shower and like Jason held him up and his feet were like touching the broken glass, that made me cringe because I'm like,
Ooh. Yeah, that was kind of a creepy scene.
yeah. And then there's also, you mentioned foreshadowing earlier. There's at the beginning of the movie, Mom's like, "Tommy, get a haircut," and then
Yes.
he does.
Real choice time to give himself a haircut, Tommy. Right at the end. He starts cutting his hair while Jason's downstairs torturing Trish, and he's just chopping away at his long locks. And I'm like, Tommy, what are you doing, dude? But then it's revealed that he shaves off all of his hair to make himself look like Jason.
Mm-hmm.
To try to relate to him, and it works.
And then he fucking brutally murders him.
Oh my gosh, brutal, Tommy. So much so that it messed him up for the rest of his life.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe by the end of part 6 he's healed from it, but even in that movie, in all three of them, you hear the same repeated like audio over and over, and it's like, damn, he's really affected by it.
Yes.
There was a definite Shining reference because they were in the bathroom and he's breaking into the door.
Oh, yep.
And then there's that one split second, like when Trish knocks him out, and then Tommy's on one side and Trish is on the other side, and then Jason wakes up and he looks back and forth between the two of them, like, which one do I go after? But yeah, it breaks the formula a little bit because it's not just one girl running; it's her and her younger brother, so it's a kid too. So, and then Trish had the greatest window jump I've ever seen in a movie. Like, that was so awesome.
I was going to ask, how easy is it to break through a window? In every movie, someone is either thrown through a window or, like, jumps through a window. And I kind of want to know, like, how hard that is. What do you think? Would you jump through a window?
Well, jump through a window or get brutally murdered? Which would I rather do? But really, in the original Halloween, it's not really a spoiler, but in the original Halloween, there's a scene when Michael Myers is chasing Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie, through the house, and then like she can't get through the like the door because it's like two handles and there's like a rake between the two of them. That classic cliche. Yes. So then she like can't break the glass, so she literally takes her hand and like smashes through it, and her hand gets like all bloody and shit.
Ooh.
So, as to answer to your question, I don't know.
I just want to try it sometime.
I'll be there with you so I can call the police if something bad happens.
Good idea.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no serial killers chasing us.
Actually, oh my gosh, today I was out for a while out of the house, and nobody was at home, and I came back and the garage door was open, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And so I go inside and I start like walking around cautiously, and I called my boyfriend to see if he had been home and left and like forgot to close the garage door, but he didn't answer, and so I was like, oh my god. And I grabbed the gun that we have and I started walking around the house, and I called him again and he answered, and he was like, no, I didn't come home. And I was like, oh my god, well, did you open the garage door this morning? He's like, no, I didn't. Oh wait, yeah, I did, but I closed it. I was like, okay, but then he's like, well, sometimes it just like pops back open if there's something in the way. So I went back downstairs and I tried to close the garage door, and sure enough, there was something in the way of it. And I just didn't notice that it was open when I left because my car was parked on the street and not in the driveway this time, so I didn't even look at it. But I was freaked. I was like, man, this is what I get for watching 6 Friday the 13th movies. It's not good. But everything's good. Don't worry.
Well, if your audio happens to cut out just at pure random, then I know something's going on. And then I'll race over there. And I'll be like, Tommy, I'll shave my head. And I'll be like, Jason, don't you remember? And then
I'm so scared. But Tommy really knows how to kill a villain, okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you do it, Alice. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
no, Alice was
Alice.
good.
No, wait, Alice
No.
was from part 1.
Part 1, Alice was good. Who was the second one? Annie.
Ginny was part 2.
Oh, yeah, Ginny.
And then Chris.
They were okay. They really didn't get the job done, obviously.
But Ginny was the one with the chainsaw that put on his mother's sweater.
But she did that. She was smart. I like that.
So Alice was the one that wasn't smart.
Yeah.
Right?
No, Alice, well, she cut off her head, which worked.
Yeah. That did work.
But before that, I hate her.
Yeah, well, she's dead, so we don't have to worry about it.
Goodbye, Alice. This actually did get released on Friday the 13th.
Well, that's awesome.
Back in 1984. It's nice that we can keep track of when they were released because it's literally like every year. Like the first one was 81, the second one was 82, the third one was 83.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was they were made every year in the 1980s except for 83 and 87. So, yeah, it seems like some of them are on Friday the 13th. Like some of them were released on those days.
Mm-hmm.
One thing too is like the last scene, and we'll get to this with part 5 too. But one thing, the last scene of this movie of part 4, they hint like something's going on with Tommy, and then it just kind of ends, and it's like, well, I thought this was the final chapter. Why are you hinting at something else happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That left me wanting more, but also at the same time, I was like, why? Yeah, because from that last look that Tommy gives, I was like, all right, so he's going to be Jason in part 5 for sure. But no, I was wrong with that one too.
Did you know in part 5 that it was somebody else's Jason, or did that like throw you for a loop?
No, I had no idea.
Part 5 has the greatest assortment of movie characters I've ever seen in one movie, because there's like 100 characters in this movie, and they're all either awesome or batshit crazy or both.
Yeah.
There's no one in this movie is sane except for maybe Tommy.
Right.
Yeah, I love that this one's called A New Beginning. Like these titles are just great. From the first scene of part 5, I knew right away. I'm like, I love Reggie. He's gonna be my favorite in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome.
So yeah, we can move on to part 5.
Yeah, I guess I jumped the gun a little bit there.
No, it's all good. So wait, was there anything else about part 4?
I just wanted to talk about Reggie.
There were so many stabbings in part 4, like all of them up until this point, like from underneath, and I'm sure that has something to do with like the special effects, but like where you just see the tip of a knife coming through someone from the back or from the front. Mm-hmm. And like the way that one kid died when he was going to get the girl on the raft, and like Jason stabs him underneath the raft. He goes all the way through the raft instead of just like attacking him head on. I thought that was kind of inefficient, Jason.
Yeah, the raft would deflate with one of the kills, because 2 of them get killed on the raft.
Yeah, it definitely would have been deflated. It got nominated for a Best DVD Extra for the Golden Satellite Awards. I have no idea what that is, but that's the award it won.
Wait, for part 5?
Part 4.
Oh, part 4. I wonder what the DVD Extra was. Maybe I'll just buy the DVD and find out.
Oh wait, it was nominated. It didn't win, but it was nominated.
Well, here, I found the DVD, so here's the special features. So there's a commentary from the director, screenwriter, and editor. There's a fan commentary, Lost Tales from Camp Blood Part 4, so that must be on every movie. Slashed scenes, so that's probably the stuff the MPAA cut out. Jason's Unlucky Day, 25 years after Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The Lost Ending, I'm curious about that. The Crystal Lake Massacres Revisited Part 1, original theatrical trailer, and Jimmy's Dead dance moves. Yeah, so they have the bonus features of how all the deaths were, but then they cut out outtakes of Crispin Glover's unique dance stylings. That's probably the greatest bonus feature I've ever heard of in my life.
If you're enjoying this podcast, you can subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, pretty much anywhere where you get your podcasts, and it really helps if you rate and review us so that we are more visible on those websites, and let us know how we're doing. So thank you. We appreciate your feedback and your listening. I also wanted to mention we are opening up our Gmail account for anyone to send us their problems they're having right now. And I think we're going to start having a section at the end of each podcast where we read some listener problems and then we can prescribe some movies that might bring you some solace or try to help you as best we can as beer therapists.
So the email is filmtherapypodcasts@gmail.com. Go there and send us an email. Even if all you want is ice cream at 3 a.m, we can't supply you with that, but we can listen to your problems, no matter how minuscule they are. And if they're bigger problems, then maybe you'll go want to see an actual therapist. But we're a good place to start when it comes to film-related problems.
My voice just cracked during that. Shit.
Yeah, so email us your problems at filmtherapypodcast@gmail.com.
What, my quiet whisper wasn't good enough?
No, because I couldn't hear what you're saying.
Oh, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. So, part 5. Here we go. So, it came out in 1985, but it takes place in 1989.
Oh, it does? I did not know that.
It do. So, I guess we forgot to mention that Corey Feldman plays little Tommy, who you may have recognized from such classics as The Goonies or The Lost Boys. Many reboots of The Lost Boys he's into. He's in them like up until the 2000s.
And Stand By Me.
And Stand By Me. He's so cute. Got those little cheeks.
yeah, he's pretty adorable. They made 2 Lost Boys sequels, so now it's a trilogy, and I think he's in both of them.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, the other Corey Haim, he's in the second one, but then the actor died, so then he's not in the third one.
Oh man. But so he's in the Corey Feldman's in the first scene of part 5 where he is looking upon the graveyard and 2 people are digging up Jason's corpse. Jason gets out of the grave and kills the 2 people who are digging him up. Mm-hmm. But then, oh no, it's just a bad dream because 1989 Tommy wakes up and he is in the car going to a mental institution. And I don't know if they even tried even a little bit to make this actor look like Corey Feldman because it did not.
No.
Not at all.
No.
And also at this point, I was also wondering where Trish was.
Yep, she not mentioned anywhere.
Not mentioned, ever. Yeah, so when Tommy gets to the mental institution, I don't know what it's called. They call it a loony bin, so it's like an asylum of some sort. But they've got like, the kids are like, they have free reign, and they're like walking around doing chores and stuff, like laundry outside. This other kid is allowed to have an axe and chop wood, which is not safe. So yeah, all those characters are pretty dynamic and different. And then for some reason these 2 neighbor characters show up, and they're kind of like in the Goonies. I feel like they're similar to like the villains in that movie. Like a estranged mother and her son that
oh my god
adores her, but she can't stand him.
Oh my god.
I hate
these
them.
2. They were awesome. What are you talking about?
I hate them. The Hubbards, Ethel Hubbard and Junior Hubbard.
Yeah, I wrote down 2 in a row. What the F is Ethel's problem, and what the F is the axe guy's problem?
Yeah.
Like, Ethel just starts screaming at her son, and then she's like, I made stew! And I'm like, oh my god, just die already. And then she
Seriously.
did, and I'm like, and then when she died, it was like, oh, I wanted to see more. Stupid ratings board system.
Right?
America.
Yeah, she just like sticks her head in her pot of stew and dies. Oh yeah, then there's these random 2 kids who are driving on the highway. Pete and Vinny. For one scene. Then of course they just get murdered by Jason for no reason. Very cool.
They were greasers, man.
Yeah, they were hella greasers.
Yeah.
Jason is, as you guessed, back from the dead, so it seems. So
it seems.
the plot really takes off when a kid at the asylum is murdered by another kid at the asylum with the axe. So tell your chocolate bar story, Jake.
Okay, this is the chocolate bar story. I'm going to weave the grand tale of the chocolate bar. It's a campfire. It's worthy of a campfire story. So this bigger kid, his name is Joey, and I think the only two things he wants is to eat his chocolate and to help out the others.
Yeah.
So he's got a chocolate bar in his one hand, and his hands are covered in chocolate. But he's like, I want to go help these pretty girls do laundry. So then he's like, I'm gonna go over and say hi to them, and then they just shun him like crazy because the one thing he happens to pick up is like a white shirt or something, and then he gets chocolate all over it, and then they're like, Joey, fuck you, you're dumb.
Joey.
And then he goes over to the axe guy, and then the axe guy's not having it. Like Joey's trying to talk to him, and the axe guy's just not having it. He just keeps getting more and more angry. He keeps chopping the wood with the axe and just getting more and more pissed off. And then Joey leans in and goes like, "Hey bro, listen, I got a second chocolate bar. Don't tell the girls, but I'll give it to you if you want it." And then he puts it like on the wood and says like, I'll just leave it here and you can have it when you want. And then he like takes an axe, like his axe, and like smashes the chocolate bar. And then Joey's like, well, if that's the way you feel about it, forget it. And then the axe guy, like his rage has just built up at this point. So he takes the axe and just fucking kills Joey with it.
It's not funny, Jake.
I know it's not funny. It's really sad, but just the way it's filmed is so funny.
It is. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
But then this is the best part. So jumping ahead to the end of the movie, when they find out that it's not Jason, but it's like the mechanic from earlier.
It's the paramedic Roy.
Yeah. Sorry, not mechanic. Paramedic. Thank you. It's Roy the paramedic, and then he's Joey's like estranged dad, and then that's why he was killing everybody, because except for the axe guy who doesn't die. But he kills everybody else because he loses his mind because his son got brutally murdered by a psychotic axe-wielding man.
He decides to put on Jason's mask and become Jason.
So the whole movie is just because of a chocolate bar. Which, I mean, if I was the axe guy, I would have been like, oh, thanks, Joey, and taken the chocolate bar and been like, then we wouldn't have had all of them dying.
Right? Well, okay, here's what I don't get, is Roy came to the scene when his son was murdered. He was the EMT on the scene, and then his partner guy was, like, making fun of it, and so that, like, really screwed him up. But, like, don't you think he would say something if he was like, that's my son?
They have to preserve the suspense and mystery of the movie. If
No!
they give it away right away.
Horrible. He shouldn't have been there. He would have been like, that's my son! Ah! He wouldn't have just been like, don't be a dick, dude.
And then when it cuts to the first of all, then it dips to black and there's a commercial break, and then we're watching Grease for The Outsiders for like 5 minutes, and then these two guys, they have this whole scene, and then that's the only scene in the movie, it has no relation to anything, and then the one dude's just like scatting for some reason while his friend's like dead over the hood, and then he's like da 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 do get the fucking car started, da 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 da, and it's like
la la la. You're the one that I want.
Yep, exactly.
Pulling out his butterfly knife.
Yep, but then he gets killed.
Yeah, they both get killed. Rip.
And I wrote down, what a weird little interlude.
Very weird. Actually, you know what's weirder?
What?
Is the other one. Where Lana and the guy at the diner.
Yeah, that one's even weirder.
Billy. That was so gross. Billy drives up, he's got like a balding mullet, and he's like, hey, Lana, come out here and play with Billy. And she's like, oh my gosh. And then she goes and, like, flashes her boobs to herself in the mirror and then gets murdered.
That scene was just so weird. And that, first of all, I hate the fact that he's named Billy, because I think that's actually a really awesome name, and like, he's such a scumbag. Because I wrote a story where the main guy is named Billy, and I'm like, I'm going to make this guy like really awesome. So whenever I hear the name, that's what I think of, is that, and then like something else, another book that I read, and then then this dude's like, oh, I'm named Billy, and I'm like, no, dude. First of all, you're a scumbag. Second of all, you're not attractive. Third, why are you in this movie?
I guess originally that scene was supposed to be in the third part, but for some reason they put it in the fifth part.
Oh yeah.
Or third or fourth part, I can't remember which one.
So it would have been a random scene in any of the movies, but
Yeah,
they
it's
just
like you
stuck
could
it in this one.
put it anywhere and it would have been just as weird. Oh, I liked this scene where two of the asylum kids, Tina and Eddie, are in the forest doing the hanky panky, of course. And Jason comes up and he like cuts Tina's eyes with like hedge trimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie dies because Jason wraps a belt around him and like squishes his head against a tree. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was kind of weird. They both like, well, his belt was around his eyes, and then he like gouged the other girl's eyes out. So I thought that was interesting. Oh, guess what? That Tina girl in the film, her real name is Deborah Voorhees.
That I did know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Weird. I've never heard that last name before.
I've never heard it, and I didn't think it was like a real last name.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone in her family line is named Jason.
Oh man.
This movie's just a bunch of random scenes put together, and it's super entertaining, and I love it. There's like that first scene, you know, when the Reggie kid pops out, and then like Tommy turns around and he's wearing his mask, and I thought that was like a really cool like callback.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then when Tommy goes to breakfast like the next day, like he just has this like freak out because like the one dude's being a dick, and then he just like almost kills him, and it's intense.
Yeah, that is intense. So yeah, Reggie's so cute. He's just like this little kid visiting his grandpa who works at the asylum, and he follows around Tommy, and they hang out with Pam, and Reggie ends up being in the final scenes. He like comes at Jason riding a tractor. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So they go into this barn. Pam and Reggie go into the barn, followed by Jason. And then Tommy comes out later and fights him while Reggie and Pam are hiding up in the second loft of the barn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Pam and Reggie and Tommy all live. Well, I don't know if Pam lives because, because then she visits Tommy in the hospital room, and then Tommy comes at her with Jason's mask on, and like he's holding a knife, and he maybe kills her.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. I wrote down because I went behind the production because I was like, oh yeah, so he drives her truck in the next movie, but then the PS4 game says that part's a dream, and then originally they were gonna have Tommy be the villain like in a new trilogy, but then this one didn't make as much, so then they went back to Jason. But originally in the next one they were gonna bring back Pam and Reggie just to kill them off in like the first few minutes, and I'm like, thank God they didn't do that.
Yeah, thank God.
Because now they can live, so I guess Pam lived too.
Okay. Yeah, it was because at the end of part 5, I was like, okay, now Tommy's definitely going to be Jason. But then part 6, it doesn't happen.
It's zombie Jason
yet
instead.
Again. Yes, zombie Frankenstein Jason.
Yeah, teenage Frankenstein.
It's a stretch, but you know, I just went with it. I really like part 6.
Yeah, I do too. I had a few other things before we leave part 5 behind, unless you had things too. I forget what the exact moment was, but I really like how they show Tommy's psychosis throughout the movie, like how he has visions of Jason and he's trying to get him out of his head. I thought that was really effective. They're not counselors for once. They're not camp counselors. They're just patients at this institution.
Right.
When what are their names? Tina and Eddie. When they're in the forest, there's that weird old guy just watching them for no reason, and then he gets killed. It's like, and I also love when Reggie goes to see his brother, and then his brother's like, hey, here's my girlfriend, like, we've been hanging out, and then she's like, how you doing, Reggie? And he's like, I'm doing pretty good. And then Pam comes by, and then Reggie's like, this is Pam, she's my girlfriend.
Yeah, and I'm like 8 years older.
And I'm like, bro, that's awesome.
Bro. Yeah, that was cute.
The way that Edith and her son died was awesome. Like how he's biking around going, Mom. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
God,
and then he gets his head cut off, and I'm like, yeah.
Woo!
The car didn't start again. That's just as common as nudity and gruesome deaths in these movies.
Yes.
Also, there's the stuttering kid, whose name is Jake, which you know. And then and I'm stuttering as I'm talking about this. But yeah, he's sitting with the girl watching the old black and white movie, and then he confesses to her, and she just laughs at him, and I'm like, wow, what a bitch.
Poor guy.
Another part that I laughed at was when Pam's trying to start the chainsaw, and then like it turns off for some reason.
Yeah.
And won't come back on. I thought that was pretty funny.
I can't even picture what Pam looks like. She's blonde.
No, I can't either.
That's all I can. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I keep picturing Chris, but I know that's not right.
Yeah.
Chris from part 3.
Yeah. Let's see. Ginny from part 2 had blonde hair. Trish had blonde hair. This girl has blonde hair. And the girl in part 6 has blonde hair too.
Yeah.
But anyway, with part 5, I think my least favorite part was like when Pam and Reggie were running from Jason. It just didn't grip me as much because I felt like they were just more running and not fighting back as much. But then once I got to the barn, that totally made up for it because Reggie comes out in like the tractor and she's like trying to get him with a chainsaw, and it's like the way that the fake Jason died was really awesome. Like how he like falls on the spikes, like that was gruesome.
Yeah, that was gruesome. Then his mask is revealed, or his mask is pulled away from his face, and they discover it is Roy, the paramedic. And then at that point too, I was like, the whole time I was asking myself, I was like, how is Jason still alive? Is there any explanation? Oh no. And then I was like, why has he waited so many years to come back and kill Tommy? But oh no, now at the end it all makes sense.
I loved the moment when Tommy, it's not Jason, but when he sees Jason again, and then they have that little like silent moment, like that was really cool.
Yeah. Because Tommy in this movie, I think I read that he only says 24 words the whole time.
Yeah, he doesn't say a lot.
He just kind of looks.
Very very expressive actor.
I liked him though. He was good.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, there's like the random scene, and like when Reggie's brother dies, he's like singing a song while in the outhouse, and then like his girlfriend like is like grabs on and like starts shaking the building or whatever, and then he's like, hey, quit doing that. And then Jason kills her. Then he opens the door and her dead body's in there, and like right on the floor, and it's like, Jesus. And then he dies too. But yeah, both parts 4 and 5 hint at Tommy being the killer, and he ends up and isn't the killer in any of them. So what I wrote at the end was, did he kill her? Will he be the killer hinted at again in part 6? Tune in next week and find out. Same Jason time, same Jason channel. Yeah, I can't get over the fact that this whole movie was just based around a chocolate bar. Like that's just amazing. More movies need to be based around a chocolate bar. Cause you have this, you have Willy Wonka, and that's it. No, I mean like in the production, the original Willy Wonka, they made that movie to sell a chocolate bar, and then the chocolate bar didn't like sell in stores because like it like melted while on the shelves or something. So then it's funny, like the movie is timeless and the chocolate bar doesn't exist anymore.
Wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
There should be more. I'm dead serious. What's another movie with chocolate bars in it?
Matilda has chocolate cake.
Yes, it does. It has a lot of things in that movie.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most quotable movies for me. Like I can just quote that movie all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Like except when I want to, like right now, and I'm like, no quotes are coming to my head. But I love that author just makes all adults oblivious idiots because it's really funny.
I know, yeah. Like a Spielberg type situation, kind of.
Yeah. Like even from the first like scene, they're like wow, like they come home from this is Matilda. They come home from the hospital with their new baby, and then they're like, what a waste of time. It was painful and expensive. $9.25 for a bar of soap. Well, I had to take a shower, Harry.
That's horrible. So bad.
There's no way out. Make a U-turn. All right. I bet if my sister was here, we could probably go through the entire movie and quote it.
Oh my gosh!
Like from beginning to end.
I haven't seen that in so long.
It's great. We should watch that soon. Like we should watch that together. That'd be fun.
That's a good idea.
Remember the scene when they're like sitting at the dinner table, and then the dad's got the calculator out, and he's like, "Here's how much I made today," and then Matilda just solves it right away because she's a genius.
Oh yeah.
The mom is drinking her Bud Light can with a straw, and it's like the funniest detail ever.
That's so wrong. Yeah, I'm sure I would notice so many more things now because I haven't seen that probably in like 12 years.
Oh, what are we doing talking about Friday the 13th Part 17? We should be watching Matilda instead. Oh, it's interesting that you brought it up because it ties into because it's the same author as Willy Wonka, and Willy Wonka is based on a chocolate bar. So
Oh,
is Friday
weird.
the 13th Part
That's
5.
right.
So it all comes full circle,
Oh my
and also
gosh.
chocolate cake. So
Yeah, wow. What's his name? Roald Dahl or something?
yep.
He must like chocolate.
I don't blame the guy.
Yum, chocolate is good.
It is. I want to get chocolate now.
Me too.
Maybe
I
Joey
don't have
has
any.
some.
Gotta get Joey to come back from the dead, give us some chocolate bars.
Why can that be Part 7? Is Zombie Joey? I would
Yeah,
love that.
why can't Joey be resurrected as Frankenstein Jason instead of Jason?
Or Alice.
No.
She could be more useful. Yeah. It's like Alice does one useful thing and then she's gone. But she's better than Ted. We'll give him that much.
She's better than Ted, for sure. Yeah, so part 6 comes out in 1986, but it takes place in 1990. Ooh, 90s.
Jason lives.
Jason lives, so you can guess that Jason comes back to life. So it starts with Tommy and his friend going to the graveyard, which the graveyard has very much evolved from the very beginning of the series. It's like this
Yeah.
huge labyrinth now instead of just like a hole in somebody's backyard. So Tommy and his friend go to the cemetery and start to dig up Jason's grave because Tommy's like, I just have to know that he's there. So they open the casket and Jason's in there all maggot. I can't stand maggots, dude. That's part of the reason why this one was scary because I hate that scene. It was just disgusting.
Oh. I thought it was awesome.
Well, also earlier, I think the day before, I was cutting up peaches from my boyfriend's backyard. He has a peach tree,
I love
and
peaches.
we were cutting up the peaches to get ready to freeze them so we could make stuff. And there were maggots in a lot of them, and so I was getting like really, really grossed out. And so this scene also brought me back to that, and it just makes me crawl. I hate it so much.
Well, I just had the thought if we knew each other when we were kids and we had these movies on like VHS or DVD or something, and I still feel like that would be our reaction is when we were little. You'd be like, maggots, and I'd be like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, so he just gets so overwhelmed with his emotions and he grabs a fence post, like a metal fence post he just rips off and starts stabbing Jason's dead corpse. And oh no, the lightning and the thunder are approaching and Tommy has to step back, but the spear is still lodged into Jason's body, and then the lightning strikes not once, but twice, because lightning sometimes, maybe, I guess, strikes in the same place twice, contrary to what I've heard. But it revives Jason. He comes up, rises from the dead, and kills off Tommy's friend. So now Jason's back. He's back.
He's not just Jason, though. This time he's Zombie Jason.
Zombie Jason. So he's even more disgusting.
He's truly a supernatural killer at this point.
Yeah.
I love that when Tommy, like, after he does his rage hitting of Jason, like his friend's like, just leave it alone, man. He's got to be dead now. And then Tommy's like, yeah, fuck you, Jason.
Oh yeah, new actor for Tommy this season.
Yeah.
This one again, which also doesn't look like the actor from before, and also really doesn't look like Corey Feldman.
This time they didn't give a shit. They're just like, we'll just make it whatever.
But I liked him too. I like this actor too.
Yeah, me too. Tommy's the reason why Jason woke up in this movie. Like he would have stayed dead if he hadn't stuck the lightning rod in him.
God, yeah, you're right. It's so bad.
So Tommy's got the responsibility to take him out this time before he kills everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That first kill when he kills Tommy's friend, that was really awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then we get to the what I like to call the Jason Bond opening.
Why?
That was because it's James Bond. It's a parody of James Bond when it goes into Jason's eye, and then he like walks and swings his machete.
Oh, okay.
And then the title comes up, and there's blood. Like, yeah, it's Jason Bond, man.
So actually, this time they have renamed Camp Crystal Lake to Camp Forest Green.
Because they're like, oh, if we rename it, then people won't associate it with the murders of the past.
Camp Blood. Again, I liked how this part 6 kind of mirrors some of the earlier movies. Like, we're going back to the campers and the camp counselors. This time, the kids actually show up at the camp, though. That has never happened before. Oh, and this is actually on Friday the 13th again, too.
Yep.
The campers actually come, which is, like, really scary for me. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen to these poor little children?
Yeah, me too.
Spoiler alert, nothing.
Thank God.
Which is good. Oh, and then the return of the phone booth. Tommy's in the phone booth from the beginning movies, about halfway through.
I didn't even notice that.
When he's talking to Megan, the sheriff's daughter.
Yeah.
So we've got the sheriff's daughter, Megan, who is a camp counselor at Camp Forest Green. They've got their troop of counselors, which are pretty fun this time. I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually the only film to not have any nudity in the series.
Yeah, that's true. Depending on how you view it, that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on what you watch the movies for.
Yeah, true.
Or it could just not matter.
And finally, this movie has moved away from, like, recapping the last movie in it for a while in the beginning, and it's only a voiceover. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. So we hear the voiceover of Tommy, like, killing Jason for the first time. Where he's just like, die.
Corey Feldman.
Instead of watching it happen for the first 15 minutes of the movie, which is great.
Yep.
So Megan and Tommy start to get to know each other because the sheriff locks up Tommy because Tommy goes to the sheriff because he says Jason's back, and the sheriff is like, oh, you're from the loony bin, you're not making any sense, so get in jail. And then Megan comes by and she's like, ooh, Tommy, you're kind of cute. And he's like, oh yeah, Megan, you're kind of cute too. And they start having a romance, and eventually they save the children and kill Jason again. Maybe, probably not. We know it's not, but they get pretty creative with it. Tommy actually does some research on lore, and that's how he figures out how to kill Jason. The lore books tell him that he should take Jason back to where he was originally born or died, whichever way you could think of it. And, oh, you know what else? Our teacher, Will Hicks, he would be happy if we mentioned water as a symbol of rebirth.
Yeah.
And so Jason drowned originally, but he was reborn into a killer. And then now at the end of part 6, we have Tommy strapping him to a boulder with chains in the lake where he was reborn. Will he die? Will he be reborn again? We shall find out.
Well, there's 6 more movies, so I think we can guess. But I thought you meant like the water was like a rebirth for Tommy.
Oh, that too.
Because this is the last movie he's in. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah. Although I'm glad that I'd rather him not be in part 7 than be in part 7 and die. Mm-hmm. So, if they make a part 13, then he can come back in that.
Yes, I hope they do.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's why we're doing this after all. We want them to get to 13 because it makes sense.
It does.
But yeah, I thought you were talking about like how, Tommy going out and like be like Megan's like, Tommy, what are you doing? And then Tommy's like I gotta do this. It's gotta be me. It's just me and him now. And then he goes and like sacrifices himself kind of to fight Jason on his own. Like I'm like that's like his moment. Like that's like the end of his 3-movie arc.
It is, yeah. That's true too.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense in both ways. So we've got a lot of survivors this time.
Yeah, bunch of kids.
The most survivors we've seen so far.
Jason's getting worse at his job.
He is. He's really slacking. Although the people at the paintball scene, there's like a random scene again with these business people who are like playing paintball in the forest. So Jason picks them off one by one too, and that's pretty fun.
I actually wrote 2 notes from this scene, I think. The first one is get ready for this. I don't know what his character name is. This is what I call him. the angry, sexist, bad-tempered, camouflage soldier. And then I put, he's crazy enough to be from part 5 with Ethel and Billy. But his death was awesome, and when he had, like, the tree, like, the blood on the tree making the face, that reminded me of Wilson from Castaway. One thing that I really like about this one in particular is just it has that kind of meta self-referential humor, and there's a couple editing jokes that I really liked. Like there's the one where it's like, he's gonna kill me, and then the sign says like Eternal Peace Cemetery.
Yes.
There's another one where it's like the cemetery caretaker like asks a question, and then the kids are like, yeah.
He says something like fart head or something like.
Do they think?
He's like, am I really a fart head or something like that?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. Yeah, the transitions were good because there was also one where I think it was right after a murder, and then you see the cop like squish a bug on his desk or something.
Yeah,
right
that
after
one too.
That. I liked Jason in this one because he had more of a personality.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like after he kills one of the people in the forest, one of the paintballers, he holds up his machete and the victim's arm is still attached to it, and he's like, oh, oops. And like
that was beautiful.
It was a good one. And well, actually they had 2 actors play Jason in this one.
Yeah, they did.
But the first actor was only in it for which scenes? Do you remember? It was only a couple scenes.
He was just in the paintball scene, I think.
Really?
So the scenes that he did was the paintball scene. The rest of his scenes are performed by the other guy, C.J. Graham. So
I just like the paintball one then.
yes. So Dan Bradley played Jason in the paintball scenes, and then C.J. Graham played him in the other ones.
Got it. And then there's also a nod back to the earlier movies where when Tommy is grabbed by Jason in the boat, like Alice and
Chris. I have a note here, or a few notes here. I liked the RV death. It was edited a little weird, but I thought it was cool. And how there's the actual crash, like we said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I never expected that these movies would have a car chase, but that was such a cool car chase with Megan and Tommy.
Yeah, I like that part.
That was awesome. I loved that.
She's pretty badass.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then their little like romance was really awesome. That was really cute. And then I wrote down like good for you, Tommy. You know, you finally found somebody that you won't try to kill. I also liked the relationship with the one counselor girl, like being like the older sister to the little girl. But then the counselor like dies, and it's like, well, that happened. Because then Jason comes in and he sees the little girl, but I wondered, you know, would he have killed her if the cops hadn't shown up? Or would he have just, like, moved on? Because
I don't think he would have. I think his anger was stemmed for the counselors and not his fellow campers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would have related to the little girl and wanted to, like, let her live.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just the idea of having the kids with the counselors just makes it feel like gives it a higher sense of urgency and stakes to it, because it's like, you know, it's not just we're saving ourselves, but we're saving all these little innocent children who are too young to, you know, do anything that we would get killed for. And then they did like a little remix on the theme. That was cool.
Oh, did they? How was it different?
I forget. I guess it wasn't that memorable.
I mean, they still just go like cha cha cha.
Yes.
Cha cha cha.
Yeah. The way they took Jason out was really awesome.
Yeah, very creative, Tommy. Good job. Props for chaining him to the bottom of the lake. But he's still alive.
Yep.
Don't know how he's going to get out. We'll have to see in part 7.
Oh my god, we're already at part 7. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, me too. This is fun, though.
So the little girl in the cabin who wakes up, did you think of her because she said her name is Nancy? Did you think of, like, relating her to Nightmare on Elm Street Nancy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But of course I did. Of course I did.
I know. I knew you would, and that's why I did too.
Yeah, I mean, you know about my history with Nancy. I mean, of course I'm going to relate any notion of the name to her. That's why That's why I felt so disappointed in Alice, because I'm like, bruh, if you're in movie one, you have to reach the tier of Nancy or Laurie Strode or something, and then Tommy gets that, but we don't get him till movie four. So
Mm-hmm.
there's the one scene when the two kids are talking, and in addition to this, it's when the two like boys are talking, and then they're like, "I think we're dead. I really think we're gonna die." And then he turns to his friend and he's like, "So what were you gonna be when you grew up?"
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I laughed a lot in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I was frightened. It was a good one. It's my favorite so far.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, because Freddy versus Jason does happen, but Nancy's not in it, and neither is Tommy, which sucks because that's what the movie should have been.
Man, you're right.
Like it should have been Nancy and Tommy like working together to fight these two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I remember that one just being kind of whatever. Like the fight scenes are cool, but like the rest of the movie is just. I think I watched it like on my birthday once, and I like was with like 4 or 5 friends, and I was like not feeling the best like physically, but like it was fun to watch it because it was like 1 in the morning when we watched it.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Too much pizza and cake.
Yeah, I think too many Doritos actually.
Oh yeah, that'll get you.
And also Alice Cooper had 2 songs on the soundtrack, so that was cool. He had that kick-ass song at the end, and then he had the one in the RV
Okay.
when the dude gets killed. Man, now I wish Nancy was in this movie. Well,
Me
she
too.
can't be because, well, I guess spoilers for Nightmare Part 3, but she dies in the dumbest way.
Oh man, I forget she dies.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, that does suck. She's like gets totally fooled by Freddy.
Yeah, it's like, bruh.
So bad.
Yeah, because that Nightmare 3 came out in 87, and this came out in 86, I think. So she's I don't know what the continuity of those movies are, like what takes place when, but she could still be alive.
Because this is taking place in 1990.
Yes. So the first Nightmare on Elm Street takes place in 1981. The second one is, I think, 5 years after. Yeah, 5 years later, so 1986. 1986. And then Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is 1987. So it does take place in 87. So Nancy would be dead. Someone did a fan film online, and it's like what happens to Nancy between parts 1 and 3, and it looked really cool. I just haven't seen it yet.
Ooh. Oh wait, a fan what?
Like a fan film.
Oh, fan film. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That'd be fun to watch. Anyway, so could Nancy have been with Tommy?
That would be sweet. That's what Freddy vs. Jason should have been.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Is
that
Freddy
one?
versus I did when I was like way too young.
Yeah, me too.
It was kind of, yeah, it was really bad. That was before I even attempted to like horror films. That's not part of this series, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's number 11.
Oh, it is? Okay, sweet. I'm excited to watch that again then.
Yeah, me too. The only reason I want to watch it is just so I can bitch about the fact that neither Nancy nor Tommy are in it.
Yeah, we can just like pick apart the parts where they could have come in and defeated both of them.
Yeah, we'll just make our own headcanon, bruh.
Because we are obviously amazing at that.
Absolutely. And I mean, we could even bring in the characters from the later movies. So like Jesse from Nightmare Part 2 or like Ginny from Friday Part 2, like they should meet. Like that'd be awesome. Or yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, let's see. Did you finish your notes on Part 6?
So, I really did enjoy 4 through 6 a lot. I think
Me
5
too.
and 6 were much better because it's not that I didn't like 4 because it's still like higher ranked for me, but I think that was the only one I went into with expectations because I'd heard it was like one of the best ones, and for me it was still good, but it wasn't like as good as I wanted it to be. But it was still enjoyable. So I don't know what you felt.
I enjoyed them all very much too. I like that we followed Tommy through all of these, and I like that it happened to work out that we watched all 3 of these within a week and could like break them up as their separate thing with their Tommy trilogy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like 6 the best so far, so hopefully they're just going to keep on getting better.
I agree. I think 6 is definitely my favorite so far. But I'm kind of nervous because because I'm really I know the gist of all the movies, like I said earlier. So I am excited for 7, and I'm kind of excited for 8, but then after that I'm just kind of like, are they gonna get bad?
They
Like,
might.
yeah, but we'll
Because
find
they're
out.
probably gonna start introducing CG and
No,
or CGI, and
no.
then it'll be not B-list 80s horror anymore. It'll just be like horrible.
Oh no.
So we'll
Um,
see.
but yeah, we'll see. Maybe what we'll do is we'll find a time to watch the remake and get like really drunk and probably enjoy it more, because that's probably going to be the worst one.
I'm down for that.
All right.
So since this is a therapy session, I wanted to do a little therapy technique with you.
Okay.
Word association. So I have a list of words prepared that I will say, and then you say the first thing that pops into your head. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First word is Jason.
Voorhees.
Oh, machete.
Chainsaw.
Lake.
Crystal.
Camp.
Blood.
Hitchhiker.
Death.
Boobs.
Am I supposed to come up with a word?
Yes!
Um.
This is a therapy sesh.
Well, I kind of want to say gratuitous, but that's because I'm thinking in the vein of the films.
Yeah.
If we're talking real life, I'd have a different word, but we're talking the vein of the film, so I'm going to say gratuitous.
Gratuitous. Good one. Resurrection.
Bullshit.
Ooh. Tommy.
Do you say, like, Tommy or tell me?
Tommy.
Jarvis.
Is that his last name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Asylum.
Arkham.
Yeah, me too. Chocolate bar.
Willy Wonka.
Maggots.
Gross.
Cemetery.
Pet.
Stab.
Kill.
Celebration.
Come on.
Sequel.
Eh.
Series.
Good.
Ending.
Beginning.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's a good one to end on. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't have
doing
more? That was fun.
Word association game. Yeah, so I guess next week we're gonna watch 7, 8, and 9.
Oh boy. It's all
I'm
downhill
so
from
pumped.
here. I am actually really pumped.
I am, yeah.
But we got no more Tommy, so...
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Oh shit! Now that I said Tommy, the first word that comes to my head is Chucky. So I was thinking, if 7 through 12 has Chucky, not like Chucky the doll, but I was thinking like Tommy and Chucky. So
Yeah,
one of the best bromances of all time. But
absolutely. That's what came to my mind when Tommy pops up too, is Rugrats.
yeah. Like I don't know why that. I guess because I pictured Tommy from this in my head. But if you had said Tommy and I wasn't thinking about Friday the 13th, I would have said like Chucky, or Rugrats, or Angelica, or something.
Maybe I'll do the same word association test weeks from now after we've watched something else, and then we can reassess.
Yep.
So go home, watch
Go
parts
home.
7 through 9. Go home.
I'm
you're
home.
In your car.
You're home, and I'm sure all 1.5 of our listeners are probably home too.
Maybe they're at work.
Yeah, they could be. They could be in their car.
Or in their car, commuting.
Or at a movie theater.
Or at a park.
Or at Walmart.
At Walmart.
Home
on
away
a
from
run.
home. On the
I
run.
always listen to podcasts when I run.
I think meant like on the run, like.
Oh yeah, they are
fugitives.
running from the cops.
Jason. No, they're running from Jason.
Running from Jason. Yep.
Oh, so a bit of Friday the 13th news. Scream Factory just announced a new Blu-ray box set with all the movies in it, and
Ooh.
It looks absolutely beautiful. I originally was just going to buy the cheap DVDs, and I still think I will, but because that's like I don't know, like $20-$30 for the whole thing. But now I'm like, damn, this looks so pretty, because they always do a good job. Like that company, Scream Factory, Shout Factory, they'll always like make new artwork for every release, and then they'll also or the box set, and then they'll have like the cover of each individual movie be like the original poster, which is really really cool.
That's cool.
And then and for part 3 because on the DVD it was like the red and blue like Spy Kids 3D kind of 3D, but then for the Blu-ray, for this new Blu-ray, they're doing like a new I don't know if it's like the one that the 3D they have now, or if it's something different, but they're doing like a 3D remaster. So
Ooh.
you can see the yo-yos now with depth as opposed to just, normal
Hell yeah.
3D. Yeah, so I thought that was appropriate to share.
Very cool.
And yeah, we're at the halfway point. Woohoo!
We can make it. I wish you luck.
Yeah, you too. The Blu-ray set comes out October 13th, which I believe is a Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Which is awesome because then that just gives us an excuse to watch these again in October.
Oh my god.
Which I actually really want to do.
We have so many Halloween movies.
Like Nightmare Before Christmas, which is really, you should watch that at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's
And then
the perfect
there's I had never seen it, but last year I watched Hocus Pocus for the first time.
Dang.
Sorry, October 13th is a Tuesday, not a Friday.
Dang
There's in November there's a Friday the 13th.
That's my dad's birthday.
Oh, sweet.
All right. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Patience.
Thank you for joining us. Again, we're not licensed psychiatrists, so take everything we say with a grain of salt. Humor is the best medicine, and watch out or Jason will get you. Unless you're Tommy, which you'll be fine. Because then you'll be the one killing him twice.
Yes.
What are some famous Tommies? There's Tommy Boy,
Tommy Lee Jones,
Tommy Jarvis, Tommy Oliver,
Tommy Pickles, Tommy Hanks, Tommy Cruise, Tommy Thumb, Tommy Sawyer,
Tommy Gunn,
Tommy Lee, Tommy Chong,
Tommy Bartlett, Tommy Wiseau,
Tommy Brown, Tommy Chow, Tommy Cash, Tommy Hilfiger,